If you're trying to maximize the depth of field in your picture so that everything from just a few feet away from you all the way out to the horizon, all of that's sharp and in focus, what you need to do is set the hyperfocal distance. Now, don't be afraid of that term. It's a lot easier to understand and it's a lot easier to find than you may think. So that's what we're going to talk about here. And let's start by looking at the basic definition of hyperfocal distance. Simply put, it's the focus point that you set that gives you the maximum possible depth of field. So that, again, everything from a few feet in front of you all the way out to the horizon are acceptably sharp. Now, this is going to change based on your focal length and your aperture and your sensor size. So there's a lot of different combinations of this distance that you need to set to maximize your depth of field. So to find that distance, we have what are called hyperfocal distance tables. This is PhotoPills, a very popular photography app. All you do is you plug in your camera, your focal length, and your aperture, and it tells you the distance that you need to focus at to give you that maximum depth of field. Now, I don't know about you, but pulling out my phone and entering all of these things into a table is the last thing that I want to do when I'm out and about with my camera. It's just not very practical. That's not how most of us operate when we're out photographing. And more importantly, your camera may not even give you any indication of your focus distance. Now, I did a video a little while back that you can watch after this if you'd like, about how some cameras give you the depth of field either in a scale format or numbers, and they also might give you your focus distance. But again, not all cameras have this feature and their accuracy can be suspect. But there still is a much easier way to find hyperfocal distance without knowing how far you're focused or without looking at tables. So let's look at that now. The basic principle behind this all is that we are going to increase the focus distance in our camera until the horizon, infinity, or whatever the furthest object is, just comes into focus. Now, this is a depth of field simulator from my advanced depth of field course, which you'll find linked in the video description. These numbers aren't 100% accurate. It's really just to demonstrate the principle of it all. But you see I have a focal length of 50 millimeters set and an aperture of f/16. As I increase the focus distance, this range of sharpness will eventually hit infinity. Now, infinity is cut off in the simulator. Just imagine it's a little bit further to the right. But eventually, as I keep increasing that distance, I get to a point where infinity is now covered in this range of acceptable sharpness. That is the hyperfocal distance, when it just touches that infinity, that furthest point. Because if you keep increasing the focus distance here, you can't make infinity more sharp, or you can't sharpen anything behind infinity because we're already at infinity. All you're doing when you keep increasing the focus distance past this point is cutting off the foreground. You're making your foreground less sharp. So we want to find that point where infinity just comes into sharpness, because that means that we've maximized how close we can have something in focus. And that's exactly how we're going to do it in the camera. In manual focus mode, we are going to increase our focus distance looking only at the horizon or the furthest object or infinity. And we're just going to increase our focus distance until that becomes sharp. And we're going to stop there, and we're not going to increase that focus distance any further. Now, one of the little gotchas about doing it this way is that most cameras today, especially mirrorless cameras, they don't always show you your selected aperture in the live view preview. Here, this is a Fujifilm camera. I have f/16 set. And I'm sorry I couldn't travel anywhere cool for this demonstration like Iceland, so we're going to have to settle for my backyard using this foreground tree and that background tree as my foreground and background references. But with f/16, that horizon should at least be sharper than it is right now. Well, that's because the camera is using a wider aperture to show me this preview to help speed up the processing. This could be f2.8, f4, I don't know. All I know is that it's not f16, so I'm not getting an accurate preview of the depth of field. So to do that, we're going to use the depth of field preview. That's another function that you'll find in every single camera. In Fujifilm cameras, here I've programmed one of my customizable controls to the preview depth of field function. And now when I'm back in shooting mode, I can press that button. You see the little aperture icon in the upper left. That means that my depth of field is now being previewed. And now I can go ahead with this technique. I'm going to start with the focus distance really close to me. And I'm just going to increase that focus distance until the background just becomes sharp. Now, this may be difficult to see, especially if there's a lot of really fine details. So what I'm going to do with that depth of field preview enabled is use the focus check function. Fujifilm will maintain that depth of field preview when you're using focus check. So I'm going to zoom in to that furthest point, and now it's going to be much easier to see when that furthest point, this tree, just becomes sharp. I increase that focus distance until it's acceptably sharp. You can also do it the reverse method, where you increase your focus distance all the way out to infinity, and then bring your focus distance back until that furthest point, which is already sharp, until it just becomes soft. And then just rotate that manual focus ring a little bit in the opposite direction to increase that sharpness just a touch, and you should be pretty close to your hyperfocal distance. If we look at our manual focus scale on the screen, you can see that it's somewhere between 10 and 15. If we go to the tables and photo pills, using a Fujifilm X-E5 at 35 millimeters with an aperture of f16, our hyperfocal distance is about 13 feet, and that's pretty close to where that tick mark was on our scale. And then looking at the picture full screen, everything appears sharp from the foreground tree all the way to the background. Now, if you can only enjoy your pictures by looking at every single pixel zoomed in to 100%, this technique is not for you. If you're just looking at your images full screen, either on a phone or a computer screen, or even if you print them out, this technique will get you sharp enough backgrounds to be able to enjoy your work. But not all cameras will let you use the zoom function while you're focusing and enable the depth of field preview at the same time. Here I'm using a Nikon ZF, and the depth of field preview is only temporary. When I have the depth of field preview enabled, those zoom function buttons are disabled. I can't zoom in at all when the depth of field preview is enabled. And if I do zoom in on my image to check my focus and then enable the depth of field preview, it automatically zooms back out for me. So what do you do in this case? Is there something to help you determine when that horizon just becomes sharp? Well, you can try to use focus peaking. That's another way to do this. Again, to get that horizon to acceptable sharpness, not 100% pixel peeping sharpness, but acceptable sharpness for viewing it any other way. Enable focus peaking and increase your focus distance until those colors become as bold as they can get, and then just stop there, maybe even back it off a bit. Or you may need to massage this a little bit by, again, doing it from the reverse direction. Increase your focus distance all the way, and then pull that focus distance back until you notice those colors just start to become thinner or not quite as bold. And then just increase your focus distance a little bit more to restore that boldest color. And you can see here in this specific scenario at 50 millimeters using an aperture of f16, the focus scale is showing me 14 feet as my focus distance. And if we go to the hyperfocal tables with those same parameters, we're showing 17 feet. So it's still pretty close, but if we look at the image full screen, the foreground and the background are acceptably sharp. Even if we zoom in to 100%, that background is still pretty sharp, and so is our foreground. So just be aware of what your specific camera can do with regards to zooming in, the depth of field preview, and focus peaking, and find a combination that works for you to find the hyperfocal distance. Now, there are some important things to keep in mind. This works best at smaller apertures. f8, f11, f16, those kinds of apertures are going to maximize your depth of field. If you're at f2.8, f4, you're not going to be able to get everything from what may be just a few feet away from you out to the horizon in focus unless you're using a wide angle lens. All of these factors interplay with one another and change your depth of field. I go over all of that in the advanced depth of field course that you can check out in the video description. And then finally, as I mentioned earlier, your depth of field and your hyperfocal distance are going to change if you change your focal length or your aperture. So if you zoom in or you stop down or open up your aperture, you're going to have to redo this process to find your new hyperfocal distance. But that's really all there is to it. There's no math, there's no tables, and it'll help you maximize your depth of field. If you, again, want to learn about how all of these factors affect your depth of field, the focus distance, focal length, and aperture, and sensor size, you can learn all about that in the Advanced Depth of Field course, which you'll find at photocourses.link/DOF. You can save 20% on that already very cheap course using the code TUBE20. If you have any other questions or suggestions on other ways to find the hyperfocal distance, please let me know below. Subscribe for more great tips like this every week, and I hope to see you in the next video.